In the 1960s, Ford released the Mustang, which was devouring the market. And Chevy had the Corvair, which was doing them zero favors. In response to the Mustang, and in direct competition to it, they released the Camaro. In front of me is a 1969 Camaro RS. And when sales execs were asked what the name Camaro meant, they replied with, "It's a small, vicious animal that eats Mustangs." The Rally Sport, or RS package that was offered, is an appearance package, and in this case offered just a few visual touches that are pretty notable. My favorite being the headlights. When turning the headlights on or off, the lenses tuck away behind the front grille. Another visual touch of the RS package is the reverse lights being underneath the bumper, which again, I think is a great visual cue for this car. Really gives it a nice separated look between the tail lights and the reverse lights and makes it pop. From the flared fender to the vinyl top to the lacquer B-pillar, the side profile on this car I think is absolutely stunning. They did a fantastic job when they put this together. Now when Chevy made this, they weren't looking for innovation and technology, obviously, especially considering the time. So manual door locks, manual handles for windows and everything else. It has a good feel and touch of what they were going for. Performance, look, and drive. Everything has a good clunky mechanical feel to it, which I really do appreciate. I especially like the doors being screwed on, just screwed on, you know? Why even hide it? I love the way they made this at the time. And if you have a very strong rear passenger, he can roll down the rear window himself, which is really nice. The interior is minimal on functionality, and I don't mind it one bit. I'm here to drive, not play with buttons. The heads-up display shows you exactly what you need to know and nothing more. Road and engine speed, as well as your fuel gauge, which you'll be checking a lot. This splash of Camaro logos is not tacky at all. I'd say they were a welcomed addition, and the wood finish gives it a dash of color. Oh, and I love the passenger oh shit handle as well. All right. Go for a spin. This year came with a lot of different engine options. Now this is the 350 cubic inch engine. Let's talk about, it's gulping pretty hard. I went down a quarter tank just by driving 15 miles or so. No one really anticipated this being good on gas mileage by any means. I gotta say, people of that generation, brave people. You guys had a lot of balls. Daily driving a car like this, racing a car like this, you got to know what you're doing and your inputs. It's a very manual feeling car, a very mechanical feeling car, and I absolutely adore that. I imagine with this loudness I'm screaming, and I apologize, but there's not much I can do to help that. It is a loud car. I'm in third gear right now at 40 miles an hour, 2,300 RPMs, and you put your foot down, all that torque, you feel that pull. That is an impressive pull. This 350 really holds its own. Yes. I can't tell you whether this thing handles amazingly. I'm terrified to even attempt it. This leaf spring suspension on the rear end is noticeable. It doesn't really give me a feel like I'm going to hold on very well to anything. The loose steering wheel gives you an unpredictable feeling to the engine, but once you really start to wrench it in there, it does feel really good. Now this is scary. This slight bend is terrifying. Without that passenger side mirror, you have to make sure you're well aware of your surroundings. This rear view mirror, though, does give you a good amount of visibility to the right side of the car, which is very helpful, but I will check my blind spots till I'm blue in the face. Let's feel that fourth gear. Oh, yes. The Camaro, yes. I thought the clutch was going to be, I mean, it is lead, don't get me wrong, but I thought it was going to be unforgiving. I thought it was going to be really a struggle to get it through gears, and it's not. Once you find the catch point, once you find where it bites, it's fun to drive. It's the Yes-mobile. That hood scoop is selling it for me. The exterior design in every shape and form. I am in love with this thing. There's no angle that I look at this car and I dislike it. But the weight of all the controls, from the stalk to the gas pedal to those 4 drum brakes that you barrel your foot down on this brake and it does virtually nothing. I love it. You know, I'm giving myself plenty of distance in between cars to make sure I have room enough to stop, and you need that room. You need that room badly. But this interior for a 1969 has held up very well. The owner of it has taken very good care of it. All original from my understanding. The seats not being very comfortable, too close to the controls, but all in all, a joy to drive. I almost don't want to turn this car back in. Now this car is for sale, so if anybody is interested, I can let the owner know. I think he's looking for a cool $35,000, which you're not going to get a car with this much style this much feeling, this much passion for $35,000 these days. I mean, I'm driving this thing like I've been driving it for years. This thing feels great. You just got to be very careful, fully off. You got to be very gentle on the controls, no hard inputs. Slowly easing it in, slowly easing it off. It gets very jerky if you quickly lay off or quickly jump it down a gear. Really got to respect this machine for what it is. As long as you have respect for a car like this, you'll be able to really control it and drive it properly. And enjoy it, I think, is the main thing. This car was meant to be enjoyed. I'm dying now to drive a Mustang of the time to see how this holds a light to that being its competitor. Chevrolet did have a lot riding on this Camaro when they released it, and I think they hit the mark. The older generation can school me. You tell me, if you've driven both, is this a valuable competitor? Is this a worthwhile competitor to the Mustang of the time? Is this something that you can say 150%, yes, Chevy, you have now a decision to make. Do you want to go with this or do you want to go with that? And in my opinion, right now I'd go with this. If I get my hands on a Mustang, I'll see if I change my mind. I've driven other muscle cars, but never this original. They've either been rust buckets ready to fall apart or totally refined to the point of where it felt like a new car. This is a matching numbers example with low mileage that really makes it feel like it's the closest I can get to what it must have felt like new. When I told a friend of mine who's had a 68 for over 20 years what an awesome experience it was, he reminded me that there's no replacement for displacement. And he's not wrong. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed driving it. I mean, I'm not really even joking. This is not easy. We gotta grease this puppy. All right.